Welcome back to the Simposium. Today we're talking about eco-lifestyle. This pack introduced a neighbourhood full of Sims who wanted to make a difference, choices that actually impacted the world around them, and for the first time the Sims 4 embraced the grungy aesthetic that some players were looking for. Along with this, they had a plethora of hobbies your Sim could take up, and with that came some really interesting items. This is one of my favourite packs personally, even though I know a lot of people didn't like it, but it really enhanced my personal gameplay style with the items I'm about to go through. So I won't be including the eco power items because I feel like those are obvious and have obvious benefits, but other than that, get ready to explore my top 10 favourite items from the Sims 4 eco-lifestyle that you should start using. Let's kick things off with number 10 on my eco list, the juice fizzing station. This is a useful machine which isn't too expensive to get started with, but with a few ingredients you can make quite a lot of money fairly quickly. The most attainable we found was the pomegranate seltzer. While you can make more money with rarer ingredients, they are harder to find, whereas you can find pomegranates by purchasing a gift on your phone. If you put 2 in the machine, the pack of 12 it turns out will give you a sizable return. As expected, these drinks give your Sims different moodlets that get stronger with each bottle you drink, which leads me to my next point, which is that it was probably the first way to get drunk in The Sims. While the bottles make your moodlet stronger, if you have 4 bottles of fizz in a row, your Sim will pass out and feel dazed. It also introduces another way of cheating death with the death flower version of kombucha called grimbucha. Drinking it will make you sad, but the next time your Sim dies, they'll be death proof and be instantly resurrected. So probably a good idea to drink this before doing something risky in The Sims 4. At number 9 we've got the Fabrication Machine. While this is bulky, and where do I put it? In my random room of giant equipment the Sims all seem to have. It does unlock some pretty interesting items, so this is more of a gateway to other items on this list. You can unlock it by leveling up the fabrication skill, however some items need to be unlocked in other ways that encourage your Sim to go out and socialise for once. If you enthuse about fabrication to other Sims, then they'll unlock recipes for you that a lot of people don't even know that you can fabricate, like a voodoo doll. And then your new friends might randomly drop by with something they've made for you, unlocking more items, and even food in some scenarios. It also interacts with other skills. For example, a Sim with the fitness skill can eventually fabricate a protein plate, or the upgrade parts handy Sims need to turn the treadmill into a source of energy. It's a good idea to be focused while using these if you're looking to up the skill faster, as the gains are pretty good with those active moodlets. However, the Fabrication Machine can be replaced by the debug menu in a lot of cases, and it's not super exciting on its own, which is why it's at number 9. The drafting tablet is at number 8, and by extension the Smog Vacuum and this cute rug. Green technicians of the civil designer career path will eventually unlock these schematics by drafting on the tablet that came with Eco Lifestyle. Then using the fabricator they can make things that people might not even know exist. This flowers and fauna rug, for example, it's so cute and I've never seen it used at all. If you're planning on being an upcycler, then you'll be needing this Smog Vacuum as well, which unlocks with being a green technician. Upcycling the burned furniture you find is something I love doing, but I wish it wasn't the only way to do it aside from being a spellcaster. Sometimes I like my supernatural Sims to be separate from my mundane Sims. Also, Sims with the Freegan trait clash with staying in a traditional long enough to become a green technician, so if anyone has another way of doing this, and not just by using the thing where you sell it straight from the inventory when you find it, then please comment down below how to do that because I would love to know. 7 is another item you can find from the fabricator by unlocking blueprints as previously mentioned, which is the Hydroponic Garden Planter. Is it cheaper and easier to buy a sprinkler? Yes, but not only do you not have to water, you don't have to weed or deal with bugs either, which is amazing. You just plant 4 bushes or 1 tree like a traditional planter, walk away, have some tea while you wait and reap the benefits. Finding the blueprints is obviously a downside, so you can unlock this with bb.show hidden objects if you're not opposed to using this, and if you want to do it the traditional way, your schematics will be of higher quality if your Sim works on their logic skill. Number 6 almost does the same thing, but it's higher on the list because you can do more with it and you can buy it from the catalogue. It's the Vertical Planter. These obviously save space in your smaller homes and rentals, making them more convenient than traditional planters, and if you upgrade them enough they will function in mostly the same way as the hydroponic planters. The only limitation being the seeds you can grow in these, as obviously no trees are going to grow here, though you can make sure you only buy suitable seeds by clicking on the item and buying the vertical seed packets. These also do something else which is amazing for your vegan or vegetarian Sims. You can grow faux meat on these. Yep, you can massage and fist bump this interesting looking stuff as it slowly creaks its way up the wire while you increase your fitness skill while doing so. This is achieved once again by becoming a green technician. For something a little different yet still vertical, at number 5 is ladders. These were added with Eco Lifestyle and not as you would expect with Tiny Living that came out just before it. However, now they're here, they're completely changing the way I build smaller units. These are pretty self-explanatory, but instead of 6 tiles minimum for the stairs, it's just 1 tile to climb floors. And it's easier to keep all of the skill gaining benefits from having a tiny home this way. Totally worth it. Next up is the candle making station. If you have this pack, you know how easy it is to get dye and beeswax, and you can easily find bushes around the neighbourhoods growing soy wax. So all of the components for making candles can be found for free really easily, and the item itself isn't expensive either. The designs get more elaborate as you level up the skill, which is easily sped up by taking the maker trait and some lot traits, as well as being in a focused mood. At level 9 you'll unlock emotional aura candles, which do just what they sound like. If you light one of these, you'll instantly make you whatever the corresponding emotion is. The only downside to this skill is that making them seems to take an age. It's longer than the woodworking table, and I realise candle making is a multi-layered process, but I feel like intricately carving a statue of a sad man holding an umbrella would take longer. At 3 is the bee box, which aside from providing beeswax for your candles is actually surprisingly useful in a lot of ways. While the bees might take some time to warm up to your sim, they'll provide honey, which aside from being a good money maker and being used in baking, will literally keep your sims warm. If your sim eats this, they'll be immune to the effects of cold weather, so feel free to jump in a freezing cold lake in the middle of winter. And be sure to keep some in your sim's inventory for when they feel the sudden urge to climb to the top of Mount Komorebi in nothing but a bikini. Similarly, the bee suit that your sim can change into is a suit for all seasons. Don't want to get sunburnt? Bee suit. Don't want to freeze to death? Bee suit. Want to set a trend in the in-betweeny times? Bee suit. In second place is the bicycle that came in with Eco Lifestyle. While I can see how these would annoy some people as Sims seems to bike everywhere instead of walk, they leave them all over the place and then the bike will just randomly decide that you don't own it anymore. Sims also ignore the laws of physics while on them and will just bike straight through solid objects like walls and other Sims. They're also obtained by designing items on the Fabricator, which can sometimes take way longer than it should. Given all that, you might be wondering why these are so high on our list. It's because it's the single fastest way of gaining fun in The Sims 4. Your Sims can be in the depths of despair, so bored and tense, and if they get on a bike, 4 seconds later they'll have a full bar of fun. They're also easy to get for free despite being a fabricated item, and though you can also buy them in the catalogue, I wouldn't bother as they're so easily found by using the next object. Which, if you haven't guessed by now, the MVP of Eco Lifestyle is the dumpster. Well, these aren't found everywhere, and I wish they would retroactively add them to all worlds where it made sense, like city living for example, and while they do leave your sim unfathomably dirty, they are in my opinion the single easiest way to make money in The Sims 4. You can dive into one of these and come out with a full house worth of items as well as a 10 grand computer and 5 bikes. But personally, this pack and this item in particular are what made playing rags to riches viable in The Sims 4, which I love doing. Sometimes they make it too easy and you pull out 3 TVs in a row and you have to ignore items and pretend you didn't get them, but you can furnish a house by doing this, and you can do up the items, sell them and furnish a house that way if you want to. You can also use it to furnish new rental lots in for rent too. I've been having a lot of fun with that, and some of these items that you pull out of the dumpster are really nostalgic for players like this table and chair set and this TV. I can see why this pack wouldn't appeal to someone who doesn't play challenges, but there are plenty of other items that make this pack worth it, as well as the cheap build items like the windows and doors that look modern but are way cheaper than some of the base game items. This seems to have been made with players and how they play The Sims in mind, which is more than can be said for some other packs. And there you have it, that's my top 10. We feel like this pack is underrated, but how do you feel? What do you agree with? Have we forgotten your favourite item? We'd love to know in the comments, so please help us out with the mysterious algorithm by subscribing and liking and all of that, and we will see you next time.